Hello, parents. How are you today? Good evening. From wherever from where I am. I don't know where you're watching me from. Is it evening or is it morning or is it afternoon? Let me know in the comment section. But it is such a pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me in today's live session. And happy weekend. It's already a weekend. Imagine. It was just the other day. It was Monday, right? And today we are already on Friday. Mm. How are you? Let's start by asking how you are. Yes, how are you? Would you like to share? Please feel free to do so in the chat section. My name is Ini, and this is Parenting with Ini, where we get to have exclusive parenting conversation right here. Okay, so if you are a parent aspiring to be a parent, then you are at the right place. Okay, welcome to my space, my parenting space. Okay, so you are welcome. I hope I've welcomed you right? Welcome to this live session. Um, I try to have a live session every day, Monday to Friday from 9 p.m. East African time. So you are much welcome. Sit, relax, and enjoy today's conversation. Today we'll be talking about what I have learned as a parent. Number one, what I have learned as a parent. Number one, that's what we'll be talking about in today's live session. So welcome. If you come into this live session, please say hi, say hello. I need to know you're here. You're very much welcome. Please feel at home. Feel at home, okay? And let's have an interactive live session this evening. All right? Yes. So remember the rules of the channel. Number one, you need to be a subscriber. Okay, so if you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, so you can actually check right now. Have you subscribed? Have you subscribed? If you have not subscribed, please, that's the first thing you need to do when you come in. Please subscribe. Okay, secondly, like the video. All right, like the video so that at least I know that you are here. At least I will know that this conversation is actually impacting someone in one way or the other. So please like the video if you're happy to be here. And number three, you need to leave a comment. At least say hi so that I can know that you are here. All right. And if you have any parenting related question, or opinion or something you want to share, anything regarding parenting, please feel free to do so in the comment or in the chat section. Okay, don't be shy. Ask anything. Give any opinion that you have regarding parenting. Say anything you would like to say regarding parenting. You are much welcome. All right. So now that we know the rules of the channel, let's dive straight into today's conversation. All right. So you're much welcome. So, even with the title, you can see there, I've said what I have learned as a parent, and I would like to share one thing that has stood out for me as a parent this week. Today is Friday. Okay, so I just wanted to share. Of course, I've learned a lot of things. I mean, the whole week, I've learned so much about, as a parent, I've learned so much. But there's one particular one when I was thinking about this particular topic, there's one particular thing that I felt I would like to share with you. One thing I have learned as a parent this week. And if you're a parent in here, I would also love to know, what have you learned as a parent this week? What is that one lesson that has stood out for you as a parent this week? Please leave it in the comment section. If you're not yet a parent, but you can remember one parenting thing that stood out for you that your parents did to you or did for you, like what is that one parenting point or parenting lesson that stood out for you through how your parents raised you? You can also leave that in the comment section. Okay, all right. So before I dive straight into what stood out for me as a parent this week, let me just say go through the comments so I can see Mama Firi. Hi, Mama Firi. Thank you so much for joining me in today's live session. I am so glad to have you here. Thank you so much. So, like I said, if you are in this live session, please say hi. At least that's the least you can say. Say hi, okay? And like the video. All right. Mama Firi, how have you been? How was your week? How has your week been? How are you? If you don't mind, you can also share in the comment section, all right? Okay, so let's get started. So, one thing that stood out for me as a parent, I think I will conclude it by saying you can actually parent a child without being always angry and frustrated. Yes, it's possible to parent a child in this day and age without being angry and always frustrated or stressed or depressed. Yes, I think only parents would really understand what I mean, because honestly, parenting can really drive you crazy. You can be trying to parent a child and you end up finding yourself going crazy. You feel like you're actually running mad because parenting draws out literally everything from you. Everything. Every aspect. It touches every aspect. I hope you guys can hear me, by the way. Yeah, so parenting can touch every button in you. Every button in you. You see those small humans? You see those small humans that you're raising? That child that is not even up to 1 year old, that child that is a year old, that child that is 2 years old, that child that is 3 years, 5 years, even 10 years, even teenagers, they can pinch on every button in your life. And so if you're not stable enough, you can actually run mad. You can actually go crazy. You can actually be so frustrated in life. You can actually be so angry. Every time you just be angry, you can even break down and find yourself crying, just trying to be a parent. But this week, I learned that it's actually possible to raise a child or to raise children and still be sane and still be happy and still be fulfilled and still be stable. In a nutshell, it is possible to be a joyful parent. Yes. But it's not, it doesn't come easily, like it doesn't come automatically. You just need to know how to master the act. You just need to know the strategy to use to be a joyful parent, even in the midst of the chaos, even in the midst of a lot of, a lot of drama, a lot of, stress on all that. It's possible to be a joyful parent. And that's one of the things that I have learned this week as a parent, that it is possible to be a joyful parent. It's possible to raise that child and still be sane and still be stable and still be happy, okay, without being frustrated, angry, sad, depressed, and all those negative things you could think of that we find most parents find themselves in there because they don't know how to manage themselves while raising those children. Okay, so I'm going to definitely share with you a few things that I feel if you could do or any parent could do can help you to remain joyful while parenting. I'm going to share with you, so don't worry. But that's one of the things that I learned in this week. So before we get into those points, allow me to say hi to Blessed. Hi, Blessed. Thank you so much for joining in today's live session. How are you? How was your week, or how has your week been? I mean, today being Friday, how has this week been for you? But thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate, and I'm glad to have you here. All right. So, yes, the lesson that I said I've learned this week as a parent is that it is possible to be a joyful parent. Okay. How? How? What do I mean? How can I be a joyful parent when I have a 1 year old child, a 5 years old child, a 2 years old child, a 0 years old child? Like, how can I be a joyful parent, even in the midst of raising a child or two children or three children, four children, five children, and all the hardship and the economy downfalls and all of those. How can I remain a joyful parent? I'm going to share with you. I have a few points that I will drop with you, and I'm hoping that after this conversation, a parent will walk out of this live session feeling joyful. A parent will feel like empowered, will feel motivated, will feel encouraged to keep trying as a parent, because you can't give up as a parent. Once you are a parent, you will always remain a parent. Okay. All right. So let me not waste much of your time. Let me start. Number one, I have learned that for me to remain joyful as a parent, I can't do parenting without God. I know it can sound like a cliche and all that, but yes, it is actually the truth and it's actually the fact. I have learned that for me to remain a joyful parent, I can't do parenting without God. God needs to be on my side. God needs to be with me. God needs to, walk with me. God needs to guide me. I need God's wisdom to parent my children. If I try to do parenting by myself and with my strength, I will fail woefully and I will remain frustrated. So, for me to get myself out of that place of frustration to the place of joy as a parent, then I need God on my side. So, one of the things that you should do is to make sure that before you start your day, start with God. Start your day with God. Call him, welcome him into your day. Tell him, God, I can't raise these children by myself. I can't raise this child by myself. I need your help. I need your grace. I need your strength. I need your wisdom. I need you to help me, to guide me, to guard me. Simple prayer like that. And then you start your day. That means you've already welcomed God into your day as you raise that child, as you parent that child. Trust me, that day will be a very beautiful day for you. Start the day with God and see how it will work. Just start the day with God. Just try it and you'll see how your day, when it comes to your parenting, will be so smooth. Yeah, so just tell God you can't do it by yourself. Tell God you can't do it by yourself. Tell God you need him to help you. You need him to guide you. You need him to guard you. You need him to give you wisdom. You need his grace because you need grace. You honestly need grace, okay? You need strength. You need God's strength to go through the day successfully. So start the day with God. Number two that stood out for me as a parent, or one number 2 point that can help you remain joyful even while parenting your child. One of the things that I have learned is that scheduling works, routine. It helps. It helps to put things in its right places. Yes. So have a schedule, have a routine, not like the strict, rigid kind of routine, but just some guidelines that can guide you through the day, whereby you know the timing that the child needs to eat, you know the timing that the child needs to sleep, you know the timing that the child needs to play. You have kind of like a structure that guides you through the day. If you have a structure that guides the child and you are able to fit into that structure, your parenting will be much easier. Okay, so get into a structure for you and for your child or your children. Get into a healthy, realistic structure. Yeah, because one of the mistakes or one of the things that we do that may not be right is trying to force unrealistic structure, to fit in, or trying to borrow another person's structure, a structure that is working in another person's house, another person's home, another person's child, trying to adopt it into your own space, into your own home, into your own children, into your own child. It doesn't work. Every structure needs to be customized because children are different, homes are different, routines are different. So you try to sit down and draft, you know, a well customized structure that fits your home, that fits your child, because you know your child well. You know what your child likes, you know what the child can do and what they cannot do. So, structure, put a structure, draft a structure that can work for you. That way, it makes your parenting, daily parenting a bit much smoother and easier. Okay, so that's one thing that I've learned. Structures really helps. Like routine, okay, schedules. It really, really helps. Number three, points that I've come to learn that can help me to be a joyful parent. Okay, is you need to guard your heart. Guard your heart as a parent. You honestly do not need to respond to everything. Yes, you don't need to react or respond to everything as a parent. Who said you must include your mouth in your mouth or your voice in every conversation that your child is having, in every issue, in everything? Take for instance, you have two children and they are having a misunderstanding or they are fighting. You don't have to stop all the fights. You don't have to intervene. You don't have to get involved in all their fights and in all their arguments. At times, just sit and just listen to them or just watch them. As long as it is not dangerous to them, there's no harm, or it's not a matter of life and death, please at times just relax. Because imagine you are always interfering or intervening, in every matter, in every fight, in every quarrel. You won't survive it. You will not survive it. At times, just watch them. As long as no one is hurting the other, at times, just watch them. Let them finish. Let them finish doing that their fight or doing that all that their argument and misunderstanding. Then now you can now sit them down and talk to them. Okay, you can now sit them down. Have you guys finished? Now you can now bring in your opinion and try to ensure that that doesn't repeat itself again. But if you want to always jump into every conversation, you want to jump into every fight, you want to jump into every situation, you will not survive it. You will not survive it as a parent. So guard your heart. It's not every mistake that your child makes that you need to talk about. It's not everything that your child does or says that you need to comment on. Guard your heart. For me, I always tell myself, as long as it's not a matter of life and death, and there is no harm and danger involved, if I feel overwhelmed and I can't say I don't want to speak about it, I'll just keep quiet. At times, overlook some of these things. It's okay to overlook some things. Yeah, it's okay to overlook some things. Take for instance, and there are some things that you don't overlook, but of course, I'm talking about these minor things. For instance, your child was eating. Let's say you've served them food, so they have food in their plate and they have their cup of water. And so, in the process of eating, the cup of water pours. So the water spills over to the carpet. You don't have to shout over it. You don't have to get angry. You don't have to make noise over. At times, just sit and watch what they will do. At times, just sit and watch how the child will react to that mistake that they have done. Just watch. Let them figure out what they want to do about that thing they've just done. And then when now you feel you and at that point, as you're letting them figure it out, trust me, what is going on with you right now at that point is that you're calming down. You've gone through the whole emotions and you're able to calm yourself down. Then now when you're calm, then now you can respond if they did not react the way they should have reacted. Or your child is eating and your child decides to, kicks the plate at some point and all the food pours. Of course, that can be very annoying to any parent because wastage can be very annoying. I don't think any sane parent would be okay with wastage. Any sane parent wouldn't be okay with wastage. When you see where things are being wasted, especially food, you will honestly not feel comfortable. So yes, when you see your child has probably poured the food you've served them. One of the quickest reaction that most parents would have is to get angry. Is to get angry, probably beat the child, probably, do so much. At times, let me tell you, at times just keep quiet. Just keep quiet and sit. Then when you're calm, we will pick up that conversation there. So now those are the kind of things that I'm saying, guard your heart. You don't have to respond over everything. You don't have to get angry. You don't have to let everything get into you to the point that you're angry, you're irritated, you're frustrated, you're bitter. Because you see, so much can happen at that point. You might react out of that emotion and you can hurt that child. You can beat that child or shout at that child or do something to that child that can hurt the child. And then you regret later. Or number two, you find yourself getting so worked up that it can affect you. So relax, mommy, relax, daddy. Let the child grow. Let them also learn some of these things for themselves. Relax and just relax. Or you have a very small baby, maybe less than a year old, or 1 year old, and the child has soiled themselves so much, like the clothes are soiled, all that, and then maybe you just changed their clothes, and then few minutes later they soil again. So at times you're probably tired, and so out of that tiredness you can react badly. At times just relax. Just relax. For me, sometimes what I would easily do, if I'm so overwhelmed like that, I just say, okay, the child has pooped. All right. I am if I go in trying to change this, these soiled clothes right now, I might get so irritated. So what I do, I just get away from that place. Get into my room or something and just stay there for like 5 minutes or 10. Then now when I'm more calm, when I'm more relaxed, then I come out and attend to the baby. Because one thing is for sure, that those clothes needs to be changed. The soiled clothes, the soiled diapers needs to be changed into something more dry and more clean. That's one thing for sure. Number two, even if you beat that child doesn't understand why the child is being beaten, because that's a baby. Why are you beating me for pooping? Why are you beating me for soiling my clothes, right? So beating is not an option. So that is a baby. That's a fact you need to understand. That is a baby, and you have to attend to the baby. So if you feel like you are so tired, you're so worn out, you're so overwhelmed, take a break, 5 minutes. Then come out and continue with the work, because you still have to do the job. And that is parenting for you. So what I'm trying to say is guard your heart. Guard your heart. You don't have to react or respond to everything. And yes, you need to do that particular task. But if you are so overwhelmed at that moment, it's okay to withdraw. Take a moment, but of course, don't go take in 1 hour and the child is there with the soiled diaper. Take like 5 minutes. Go breathe in, breathe out, drink water or something. Then come out and continue, because you have to still be a parent at the end of the day. But guard your heart. Okay? Guard your heart. It really helps. So those are 3 points, right? I still have, I think, 1 or 2 more before we round up. But let me just say hello to Kant. Kansa Malosi. Hi, Kansa. How are you? How has your week been? How has your week been? Welcome to my live session. I'm so glad to have you here. So basically, we are discussing what I have learned as a parent. And for me, I'm just sharing what I've learned, or one message or one lesson that has stood out for me this week as a parent. So that's what we have been discussing. And the major highlight for me as a parent has been, it is possible to be a joyful parent even while parenting your children. You can still be joyful at parenting. Okay. I also have Alilo. Alilo is saying hi. Hi, Alilo. Thank you so much for joining me on my live session. I'm so grateful. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. You're so welcome. Please feel at home, feel comfortable, and enjoy the conversation. If you have anything you want to say, any question you want to ask regarding parenting, please do so. Okay. All right, so I've shared 3 points. And number one of how you can, or what I've learned about being a joyful parent, number one, I said you have to involve God in your entire parenting journey on a daily basis. Like, you have to involve God. Number two, I've said, guard your heart. It's not everything you respond to. Guard your heart. Guard your heart. It's important. Guard your heart, because at the end of the day, you are still a human being, right? You're still a human being. So please guard your heart. You don't have to respond to everything. All right. Yeah. So I've mentioned those two. And then number three. Who remembers my number 3 point? Who remembers my number 3 point? Because I actually think I've forgotten. What did I say about number three? Yeah, I said I mentioned about involving God. Then number two, I said what? I want to see if I still have those parents, those children, students, who have been on this live session since we started. I've actually forgotten my number 2 points. The number three, guard your heart. Okay, guard your heart. It's very important to guard your heart. If you want to be a joyful parent, guard your heart. Guard your heart. All right, it will help you. If I remember number two, I'm going to definitely say it. But let's continue. Number four. Number four. Right now we are now on number four. So one of the things that I've learned. Oh yeah, I remember number two. Have a schedule. Yeah, have a routine. Okay, get a structure. It helps. Having a structure for your child, it really helps, because you get to know what they're supposed to do at what particular time. And another thing that it helps to do is that you know that if maybe, let's say, your structure or your routine for your child says a child sleeps at 8 p.m. In your mind, as you're taking care of that child, you always know that by 8 p.m. the child goes to sleep. So at least you have some breathing space. That's one of the things that it helps you. Okay, so that's a window there for you to just breathe in and breathe out. As a parent, after 8 p.m. they will go to sleep, and you'll be able to breathe. After a whole long day, right? Yes. So anyway, so those are the 3 points I've mentioned so far. Now, number four of how you can remain joyful while parenting your child in this day and age. Trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy. In fact, this generation of children that we have, you don't just tell them things and they just take it. No, you tell them A, they ask you why is it A? You tell them this, they ask you why. They want to know. They may seem like they're challenging, your instructions, but that's not how it is actually. They're not challenging you. They're actually trying to understand. You don't just throw things at them and they take it. So this parenting is not like what we used to know before. It's not. It's a lot of change. There's a lot of change that is there. So we have to, we have to brace ourselves. We have to upgrade, okay, and be equal to the task. Yeah. So anyway, yes. So number four thing, or number 4 points that has stood out for me, that can help, that I've learned that can help me remain joyful while parenting, is to have a community. Yes, have a community. If you have a community, especially a community with other parents, it really makes things so easy for you, because you get to compare notes, you get to have a platform where you can vent, and you have people there who understands what you're talking about. So you get to speak out, you get to talk about your struggles, you get to share, you get to vent, you get to hear about other people's parenting opinions, so that at times you can also be like, oh, okay, so I'm not alone in this particular struggle. I'm not alone. So we are many. It motivates you, it encourages you, it helps you to release your pressure, it helps you to release your stress, it helps you to release that thing that is causing anxiety in you. Okay, it helps you to have a space where you can speak to people who are on the same journey with you, the journey of parenting. So have a community, have a group where you belong to, parenting group or mothers group, fathers group, parenting space like this. It helps you to offload, it helps you to speak out, it helps you to get to hear other people's opinions, how other people are doing their own parenting, so that you can pick one or two and then customize it to fit into your household, and you continue, you keep going like that. That's how we do this thing in parenting. There is no strict manual, for parenting. Trust me, there is not there. We learn on the job. And the interesting thing about parenting is the moment you start, the moment you become a parent, you can't stop. Because even if your child becomes 60 years old and you're still alive, you still remain a parent. So parenting does not have expiry dates. You parent till the last day or till your last day on earth. You remain a parent. So you just need people to work with. You need a community. You need a group. You need a safe space where you can, you can compare notes, you can share, you can vent out, you can, express yourself, you can ask questions, you can hear how other people are doing it. Then you pick one thing or two, and then you customize it to fit into your own household, into your space, and then you keep moving. And every day you become better and better and better, and then you discover how joyful it is to be a parent. Parenting doesn't have to be stressful. Parenting doesn't have to feel like a burden. You can be joyful while parenting. You only need to know what to do and how to do, and you will get it right. That's why I'm sharing this video. That number one, you can't do it without God. Involve God on a daily basis. It will help you. Number two, get a structure. Have a routine. Have a routine that can help you, that can guide you and the child or children. It makes the job a bit easier if you have a routine. Okay. Number three, I've said guard your heart. Guard your heart. As a parent, as a mother, as a dad, please guard your heart. You don't have to respond to everything. You don't have to comment on everything. You don't have to get angry at every mistake that the child makes. Guard your heart. And at times, you don't have to do everything at the same time or everything, At times, if you're too overwhelmed, take a break. Take a 5-minute breather space. Just go breathe. Go and drink water. Go and breathe in, breathe out. Just put your head, close your eyes for 5 minutes and then wake up, continue. You see, it's the same thing with where you're working, if you're employed. Okay? When you work, you even have lunch breaks. So as a parent, do you have a break? Do you take some minutes off? Do you take an hour off? Do you even take a day off parenting? Or you're just there doing parenting Monday to Monday? And maybe if circumstances does not allow you to take a day off parenting, that's okay, but take some few minutes. Go and breathe for your own self. For your own sake, take a minute. Go breathe. Breathe. Close your eyes for a few minutes, wake up and continue. Because like I said, you always remain a parent till your last day on earth. Okay? Yes. So those, and then number four. Oh, sorry, before I go back, let me see. I've seen there's someone called Sanctus. Thank you, Sanctus, for joining in today's live session. And then you say, can one without sacrificial nature be a good parent? That's a good question. And I'm going to answer that question, okay? Yeah, I'm going to answer that question. Thank you for asking that question, Sanctus. I've noted it. I'm definitely going to answer it, okay? Yeah. So yes, so that's why I'm sharing these pointers, so that it can help. It can help you as a parent. It can help you, as a mother, as a father, to remain sane while raising your child, to remain joyful while being a parent. All right? Yeah. And so now on to my last point. Allow me to share my last point that I've learned that can help me to be a joyful parent, is that you don't have to shout for your point to be heard by that child. You don't have to shout for your point to be heard by that child. Trust me, you don't have to shout. You can actually speak with a very soft tone. You can actually speak with a very soft but firm tone, and your child will get the message. Yes, you can speak with a soft but firm tone, and that child will get the message. We are used to, or probably most of us, in our generation, probably we're made to believe that the more you raise your voice, the more the point gets into the head, The more you shout, the more you carry the cane, the point sticks, the point gets in. In this particular generation that we are raising, that may not really be the case. We need to learn to change strategy where it is needed. Okay? We don't have to raise our voices for the point. Yes, if you raise your voice, by the way, they'll fear you, they'll be scared, and they'll probably just do it what you've asked them to do out of fear. But if you lower your tone but be firm, the message gets home. It sticks. They learn. Recently, I've been trying to potty train my child, and at first it can be so hard, potty training. Okay, yes, even me as a child care specialist, at times I find those things hard. Sometimes for the beginning it can be very hard, potty training. Okay, because you are saying this, they are not understanding. You're saying that, they're not getting it. But then consistency. And I'm going to talk about potty training because you get successful at it when you are able to apply some particular strategies. And one of them is consistency. And when you're teaching a child, you need to learn to be patient while teaching them. You don't teach these children in a hurry. You have to be patient. You have to be calm. And like I said in my pointer, you have to bring down your voice, but be firm as you give those instructions, as you make those decisions, as you affirm those instructions. You need to be soft, but your tone needs to be soft, but then you're firm with what you're telling them to do. The point will be home. The point will be home. So parents, get a community, belong to a community. Stop shouting. If you're one of those parents who is always shouting for your point to be heard, your point is not being heard when you shout. Your point is being feared. They are scared of you. That's why they are doing those things, not because they can hear you. If you want your child to hear you, stop shouting. If you want your child to hear you, stop shouting. So if you're one of those parents who is always shouting, every time in the house, you're shouting. I just want you to know that number one, your child is not listening. Your child cannot hear you. And number two, you are hurting yourself. Your health is at stake. Because every time you're shouting, you will not stop shouting. As long as those children are still growing, you will not stop shouting. So ask yourself a question. How long am I going to be shouting? How long will I shout? How long will I shout? So if you love yourself, stop shouting. At least if that's the only reason why you want to stop shouting, please stop shouting. For your own sake. Stop shouting. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy. Stop shouting. Speak, but don't shout. Speak softly, but very firm. I know it's not easy. Trust me, it's not. But stop shouting, because shouting can hurt you. 70 plus 81 is saying, no, I gotta shout. Okay. But I am telling you from experience, I used to also be that shouting mama, like I will shout so that you can hear me, Yes, I say how they're gonna hear me if I don't shout. That's what we were meant to believe from how we were brought up. That the only time a child hears you is through you shouting. And so that's why we are doing it to our own children. But I'm telling you, in this particular generation where we are raising our children, shouting doesn't work. Instead, it hurts. It hurts you. It hurts the child. Okay? In the long run, shouting hurts you, your health. And then it hurts the child, because the more you shout, that shouting is working on their esteem. So stop shouting. At least, if not for any other thing, for your own sake. Stop shouting. Stop shouting. And then for the sake of the child, stop shouting at them. I pray God helps you. God helps us. Because even for me, I'm still work in progress. Okay? I'm working on myself. I'm working on it so much to stop shouting. So stop shouting. If you used to be that shouting mom, shouting dad, stop shouting. Number two, get a community. Get a community, belong to a community, a parenting community, a parenting space where you can speak out, where you can talk, where you can express yourself without feeling judged, where you can express yourself and someone actually understands what you're saying, okay, because they are also in the same journey with you, okay? If you have siblings, okay, those are other platforms where you can also go speak and vent, so that at least you speak out. Have people where you can talk to, you can speak out. At times, another thing that can also help you is, at times, you just call someone, call your sibling, call your friends, and just talk about nothing, just laughing, and just laugh and just crack stories, tell stories, and all that. Laugh. Those are some of the breaks you need as a parent. And trust me, once you're done with that call, you will go back to being a parent. You feel so refreshed. At time, take walks. Just step out for a few